All right, we are back with your 2022 NFL season breakdown. I picked all 272 regular season games. It gave me some records, it gave me standings. I'm going through division by division, breaking things down team by team to let you know what I think is going to happen, what you can expect from your team and every team this upcoming season. We have 3 divisions down. We got 5 left to go. We broke down the AFC South last time. I'll throw a link up here in the top. I don't know which corner it's in. One of these corners if you want to check that out. We're going to move on over to the NFC, but we're going to keep it in the South. But before we get into it, if you could, subscribe to the channel if you're not already. Give this video a like. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of these division breakdowns we're doing every day leading up to the NFL kickoff on Thursday between the Bills and your defending Super Bowl champion Los Angeles Rams. Share this video with your friend. It really helps channel out a lot. We're growing like crazy. All right, let's get into it now with the NFC South.
Oh yeah! Let's go, baby! Let's go!
All right, the Falcons are coming off a 7-10 season under rookie head coach Arthur Smith. Now, they did just lose their franchise quarterback, the man who's been under center since 2008, led the team to a Super Bowl, won an MVP. Honestly, probably the best quarterback in Atlanta Falcons history. Behind, you can argue Mike Vick, but I think it's got to be Matt Ryan. And he's out. He's in Indianapolis. Now, they brought in Marcus Mariota to take over the starting job. He's been a backup in Las Vegas for the last few seasons. We kind of know what he's got. He showed it in Tennessee. Now, I do like some of their young offensive pieces. They just drafted Drake London, a wide receiver out of USC. They have Kyle Pitts coming into his second season. He is an absolute monster. He might be a top 5 tight end in the league this season. He's going to be the best tight end in the NFL, I think, in some time. They also have some nice solid guys on defense, kind of well-rounded. AJ Terrell is super underrated defensive back. He didn't even make the NFL's top 100 players, and it's an absolute crime. He had the best coverage stats last season, a complete lockdown corner that nobody really talks about. And they did spend some money to try and improve their atrocious pass protection. But I'm going to be frank here. The offensive line was bad, and that was the biggest problem last season. Matt Ryan's kind of old, not very mobile. The O-line is bad. He was getting hit. They also don't really have a run game. They have the Swiss Army back, Cordero Patterson, converted wide receiver kick returner, had to play running back for them. But 7 wins was honestly kind of surprising for them. They just really don't move the radar. They didn't improve the offensive line enough. It's a really bad offensive line. They spent a lot of picks to try and help out the defense, which is nice. I think they're starting to build a little nice young core there. But honestly, this feels like another team that has a young or new head coach that is looking to draft their quarterback for the future. Now, I know they just drafted Desmond Ridder, quarterback out of Cincinnati, but he's not your guy. When you're a coach, you want your freaking guy. I think it's 4-7 for the Falcons this upcoming season. Marcus Mariota is probably going to get hurt, and if he doesn't get hurt, we know what he's going to give you. He's kind of a middle-tier quarterback, especially with a poor offensive line, not an elite running game, and just kind of okay weapons minus Kyle Pitts. Drake London's a little beat up. Who knows what you're going to get from the rookie? But it's just really tough for Atlanta. Now, Atlanta's going to be in the hunt at the top of the draft to get their next quarterback. This is a super quarterback-heavy draft. You never know what they're going to find. There's a lot of guys out there. College football just started. It's very intriguing. So I think Atlanta's eventually, it's going to be a long season, but eventually they're going to find themselves one day, maybe 3 years from now, maybe 28 years from now, you're going to find themselves back at the top competing for a Super Bowl title. So sit tight, Atlanta fans. I do like Arthur Smith, but it's going to be a kind of tough season ahead for you.
Oh yeah! Let's go, baby! Let's go!
All right, let's move on over to Florida and your Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Last season's epic playoff comeback fell just short to the eventual Super Bowl champion Los Angeles Rams and really left a poor taste in everybody's mouth. And it led to a pretty whirlwind offseason for this Buccaneers team. The retirement and unretirement of the GOAT, Thomas Edward Brady, that instantly took this team from lost, we don't know what we're doing, we don't have our quarterback, he just retired, to back in contention for a Super Bowl. I think this was a huge move, but head coach Bruce Arians had to step aside. There's been a lot of reports, backrooms, chirps, all that stuff, a speculation about him and Tom Brady's relationship. Bring in Todd Bowles. He moved up from defensive coordinator. He has head coaching experience. with the New York Jets. And honestly, with how bad the Jets have been without him, he actually looks really good. We thought he was just a bad head coach, but the Jets were competent. That was the last time the Jets were competent, when he was head coach. So maybe he's got some good moves there. They also kept highly sought after offensive coordinator Byron Leftwich. He was in a running for a number of head coaching jobs, but he's coming back. They're going to let him and Tom run the offense. That was a big rumor about Bruce Arians. Like, Byron and Tom would run the offense, come up with a game plan all week, and then Bruce would install some stupid bullshit, change what they're going to do on Thursday, really not make things work. So I really think this is going to be a head coach who runs a defense, and Tom and Leftwich are going to run the offense, kind of a two-tiered system. But this seems like the last run that the Buccaneers are going to have. They've had a lot of name turnover on this roster, but they've done a pretty good job with adding some veterans, switching out, new blood, Russell Gage, Kyle Rudolph, Shaq Mason, Akeem Hicks, Logan Ryan, and Logan Hall. But they are going to have some massive gaps and downgrades on the offensive line. They've had some injuries in camp. It's really going to put them behind the 8 ball. We all know Tom thrives when he has good offensive protection, and at 45, he crumbles when he can't get blocking. But that's what you expect. He's 45 years old. What are you going to do without it? Now, without a security blanket, Gronk, I am going to be interested to see what he can do. Also lost AB towards the end of that season. Those are his go-to guys. He's going to have to rely on the new bloods. Can't always rely on Mike Evans. Chris Godwin's coming off a knee injury. So he's got to find some guys he doesn't necessarily fully trust, especially with that bad offensive line. Defense is still going to be good. Very good towards the top end of the league once again. But the schedule is super, super tough for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. First place schedule, playing the NFC West and the AFC North. Absolute gauntlet of a schedule. I believe in this team. I'm still going to keep believing in. I'm going to still keep betting on Tom Brady until he totally lets me down. I have the Buccaneers 11-6 this season. Slight downgrade from last season, but still more than good enough to find themselves in the postseason and in the hunt for an elusive, ever elusive, back-to-back NFC South championship.
Oh, yeah! Let's go, baby! Let's go!
Time for the Panthers. What can I possibly say about the Carolina Panthers? 5-12 last season in year 2 for head coach Matt Rule. Things seem to have never really gotten together for him in Carolina. I personally had some questions when he was coming out of college. He was the hottest name in the game, but he deserved it. He had a masterful turnaround of the Baylor football program. But could he work his magic with the big boys in the NFL? I had some question marks, and it doesn't seem like it's working out quite so sure. Even the greatest of head coaches in college haven't been able to turn it around. That's why Jimmy Johnson is so impressive to do it at both levels. It's really, really hard. Even the great Nick Saban struggled in Miami. And I'm sure ownership in Carolina is really, really regretting giving him a 70-year, $60 million contract. It's not working out. He's on the hottest of hot seats this season. It feels like they want to get rid of him. And his time in Carolina is ultimately going to rest on the health of Christian McCaffrey and the play of quarterback Baker Mayfield. Honestly, not the most promising prospects for him. I think they're already a bottom third defense. They lost key pieces, A.J. Boye and Hassan Reddick. I just see another team who never got their young rookie head coach, top quarterback. We know exactly how this situation goes in the NFL. Baker, moneymaker in Carolina. I mean, this is all this team is going to be. If Baker can be the guy that he was when he went to the playoffs in Cleveland, maybe they have a shot. Maybe CMC stays healthy. But Baker just needs everything perfect for him to succeed, it feels like. And he has not matured at all, it feels. He's had some questionable comments about playing the Browns in week 1. It's just, dude, grow the hell up. You're a quarterback in the NFL. This is not college. This is not... You have to be a guy if you're going to be leading a franchise, a multi-billion-dollar NFL franchise. And it just seems like he hasn't learned. He hasn't matured at all. I feel bad for Carolina, honestly. They had one of the best seasons 7 years. 2015, God, 7 years ago already. With Cam Newton, they fell short in that Super Bowl. They've never been able to re-get their footing. It's been bad season after bad season, mediocre after mediocre. And I think it's going to be another dud of a season from Baker Mayfield Another dud of a season from head coach Matt Rule. They're both going to be in the job hunting line this offseason. I think they're both going to be unemployed. If Baker doesn't grow up and show he can play, I think he might be done as an NFL quarterback. Nobody wants that nonsense as a backup quarterback, so his career could be coming to an end really soon. Matt Rule is going to find a college job. I think Matt Rule is a really good college coach. He's just clearly not built for the NFL scene. 4-13, I have them this year, dead last in the NFC South, and a complete chance for a new start, a new quarterback, new head coach. So things could be promising if they are as bad as I think they're going to be.
Oh yeah! Let's go, baby! Let's go!
Let's finish this thing up down on the bayou in the city of Voodoo with the New Orleans Saints. All right, I'm not going to let my bias and hatred for this franchise get in the way from an actual breakdown. The Drew Brees and Sean Payton era is officially over after Payton's semi-surprising retirement this offseason. Now, rumors have swirled about behind the scenes about teaming up with Tom Brady in Miami. That's why he wanted out with New Orleans. They thought they were going to be slick. They were going to be on the Dolphins, but it didn't happen. He's a free agent. Dallas really wants him. They're going to probably have to trade a top pick to get him because the Saints still own his contract. I don't think Sean Payton is done completely, but he is done in New Orleans, and he's not coaching this year. 9-8 last season, despite losing starting quarterback Jameis Winston for most of the season, or at least a good chunk of it, and not having their top wide receiver, Michael Thomas, for the entire season, leading very heavy on a top 4 defense, and the Swiss Army back Alvin Kamara really did a good job last season. This was kind of a surprising team. They never felt super threatening, but they did a really good job. 9-8 without your starting quarterback. I mean, they had the Taysom Hill experiment. Who the hell knows what's going on? Was Trevor Siemian quarterback last year? I don't even know. But they promoted defensive coordinator Dennis Allen. They kept Pete Carmichael as the offensive coordinator. So basically, they're running this thing back. They're thinking it's going to be a healthier squad. They added some new weapons. This is going to be enough to push them over the hump and back into the playoffs. There's been a lot of buzz about this team in the offseason as being a real Super Bowl contender. A lot of people are whispering, murmuring. They've made a lot of interesting moves, and for good reason. Huge additions of wide receivers Jarvis Landry and rookie Chris Olave out of Ohio State. Big boost to the offense. You pair that with Michael Thomas coming back and Alvin Kamara. It's big. Make things easier for Jameis Winston. That's what it needs to be. Jameis showed some real positive signs last year. I'm going to be honest. I mean, I like Jameis coming out. He's been kind of a letdown. It feels like he's gotten rid of his true gunslinger ways. He's not going to have a 30-30 season anymore. 30 touchdowns, 30 picks. I think those are behind them, but I'm going to need to see it again for an entire season, especially without Sean Payton to rein him in as the guiding light, because Sean Payton knows how to manage a game as good as anybody in the NFL when he's not too busy cheating. But now it's not all sunshines and rainbows for the New Orleans Saints. They lost their top left tackle in the lead. They lost their top left tackle in the lead, and Tyron Armstead to Miami. Also lost some guys on the back end of their defense. So I do think they're going to take a slight step back. Now, as you say, hey, they got the Honey Badger. They got Marcus May. Honey Badger's still good. It's just he feels like he's getting towards the end of his career. He's getting a little bit older. He seems to be nicked up a bit. I still think this is a very good defense. Don't get me wrong. I don't think they're going to be top 5. I think they're going to be top 10, which is still more than good enough to make up for a really good offensive upgrade with the weapons they're adding. I think Jarvis Landry still got some stuff in the tank. I really like Chris Olave out of Ohio State. And, who knows what Slant Boy's going to do. But he's there, and Alvin Kamara can do everything. He can catch the ball, he can run the ball. But this is a tough schedule. We talked about this. It's a tough schedule. They got to play teams, just like the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they got to play teams from the NFC West and the AFC North. Not the best schedule in the world, and they unfortunately lose a home game against the Vikings. They got to play that in London and a neutral site, and honestly, probably kind of a road site. The Vikings are the UK's team, officially ruled by the NFL. They have a large fan base over there. So probably going to be rooting against you, which sucks because everybody knows the voodoo of the Superdome is a huge home field advantage. Still, the offensive upgrade is great. They're going to have a terrifying force on defense. Top 10, not as terrifying as last year, but still really, really good. Still have Cam Jordan. He's still getting it done at his old age. I think this is a very good team. I think they find themselves at 11-6 this upcoming season. Really, really strong. and they win the tiebreaker over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, I think this is your NFC South champions as much as I hate to say it. I think this is a good team, going to be sneaky good. Maybe not as good as they're getting the overhype, but everybody knows offseason overhype. This is a division winner. This is a sneaky good team in the playoffs. If Jameis Winston can truly be the guy that he showed he was for those 8 or so games last season he played, and not the 30-30 guy. If he's the 30-30 guy, this Saints team is doomed. But if he's a manager guy who can make plays, take what the defense gives him, let the defense protect leads, this is a frightening team. 11-6 just based on the schedule. It's really, really tough, but going to be a tough out in the playoffs, especially at home, that first round. All right, that's going to do it for us this week. Let me know what you guys think. Am I underselling the Saints? Am I shitting on the Panthers and Falcons way too much? Maybe I'm too high on the Buccaneers. Maybe you guys don't believe Tommy the GOAT can still get it done. Let me know what you guys think. It's a really interesting season. We're halfway done now. We're going to move back over to the AFC, and we're heading to the AFC East tomorrow afternoon. I think this is a very interesting division. Beware the Buffalo Bills. Everyone's got them in their Super Bowl favorites. Can they get it done? I'm going to let you know tomorrow. AFC East tomorrow. Again, let me know what you think in the comments below. Too high, too low? Where do you agree? Where do you disagree? Tell me what you do. Again, like this video, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell, share this video with your friends, and I'll see y'all tomorrow.